It's no secret that I combed through the 2018 NFL draft class with a fine-tooth comb. There's no doubt about that. And I'm not saying it to toot my own horn. I'm saying it so that the listeners can get a good grasp as far as what I did in terms of my preparation. No, I'm just kidding. But to say the least, I combed through these draft classes a year in advance, whether it was with Mayfield, Darnold, Allen, Rosen, and Jackson as the first rounders, or even the Mason Rudolphs, or even a year ahead of time from the Goffs and the Wentzes and the Daks. It's no secret that I really enjoy the quarterback position more than any position in sports. And the reason why is that there's so much pressure put on the quarterbacks now in professional football. I feel like it's at an all-time high. The NFL stands for not for long for the quarterback position now more than ever. These guys got to deliver. These guys got to show something to their teams that have drafted them, that have invested high draft stock in these players. And if they don't, they are shipped out. Ask Johnny Manziel. Ask Ryan Leaf. Ask Jamarcus Russell. Ask J.P. Lossman. Ask any quarterback that was drafted in the first round that didn't do a dang thing within the first 3 years of their tenure with that team, and they're gone. This is not the hold your hand coddle league. This is put up or shut up, put up or go away. And I've made a lot of statements on the show, no doubt about that, no secret. I've made a lot of statements on the show. One of those statements was that I thought Baker Mayfield was the worst first overall pick of all time. And people were like, he hasn't even played an NFL game yet. You're going to say that? No, I'm not saying it in terms of how bad Baker Mayfield is. I'm saying it for what Cleveland did to lead themselves into that moment. Picking first overall and fourth overall, I would not have taken Baker Mayfield first. I'm sorry. When you have the first overall pick, you got to ask yourself as a GM, as a scout, as a franchise, whatever it may be, coach, whatever it may be, got to ask yourself, who is the best player in this draft? The bona fide best player. Who's number one? That's who I'm taking. I'm taking the guy that with no sense about it, whether it's a tackle, whether it's a defensive end, whether it's a corner, whether it's a wide receiver, whether it's a quarterback. I'm taking the best player available, the far and away first name that comes to mind. And Baker Mayfield did win the Heisman last year. Baker Mayfield did have a tantalizing story, going from a walk-on at Texas Tech to a walk-on at Oklahoma to the first overall pick. Great story. No doubting that. Not putting the story down, but the stuff off the field is concerning. The stuff on the field is concerning too. My reasoning for Baker Mayfield not being one of the top quarterbacks on my list back in April of 2018, a few months ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, if you count March as well, which I talked to draft in March, obviously, as well. It's very small. Cleveland does not have the best offensive line. Cleveland is not the best situation for Baker Mayfield based on the fact that they are Cleveland, but maybe they are with how they have somewhat turned back the clock and brought in some decent weapons. Jarvis Landry, they got him for basically nothing. I will say that. Nothing. They didn't give up anything for Jarvis Landry, it seemed. And then you revert over to the next quarterback that was drafted in Sam Darnold. I love the fit for Sam Darnold. I think it's a great fit for Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold made a lot of sense for the Jets. I think the Jets were thrilled to be able to get Darnold because most people, myself included, thought that if Cleveland were to take any quarterback first overall, it would have been Darnold and not Mayfield. It was a shock to many people that they took Mayfield. It was either Barkley or Darnold. Some people even threw out Josh Allen, who's the next guy we'll talk about. I think Darnold will fit in very well with the Jets. Whether he starts this year or not is another story, but the Jets seem very eager to put him out there. The next guy we'll talk about is Josh Allen, who at the time Buffalo was trading up, Josh Rosen is still available, you had Bills fans literally saying that they drafted the wrong Josh. Facebook groups starting. Twitter handles, Twitter accounts starting, we drafted the wrong Josh. Bills fans going live on Facebook, pissing and moaning that they should have took Josh Rosen instead of Josh Allen. Now you fast forward, what changes in 5 months? What changes in 4 months for Bills fans to say, well, Josh Allen's a good guy. He's the right pick. He'll fit in like a glove. I said that. I said that in March. I mocked it multiple times that Buffalo would easily take Josh Allen if he's available over Rosen, over Jackson, but not over Mayfield and Darnold. I'm not saying this again. I'm not saying this to my own horn. I'm saying this to the Bills fans that, yes, you should have listened the first time. Yes, Josh Allen will fit in Buffalo fine. Yes, Josh Allen was the right pick for the Bills. Because no matter what happens with the next guy, no matter what happens with Josh Rosen, no matter if he has a great career or not, the question that we're asking ourselves on draft night is Josh Rosen a great fit for the Buffalo Bills? Is Josh Allen a great fit for the Buffalo Bills? Who's the better fit for the Buffalo Bills, not for the Arizona Cardinals? And they asked themselves that question, and they knew the answer to it. These guys sit in restaurants with these players. They talk to these players. They know their families. They know every which thing. They know what kind of cologne they wear. They know what kind of cereal they eat. These teams follow these players almost like the paparazzi following Ashton Kutcher or Tom Cruise. These teams follow these players. They know these players better than just about anybody. And I'll always remember this. I'll never forget this. I'm sitting there. I'm watching the draft. I see Buffalo makes the move. They go up. They get Josh Allen. 7th overall with Tampa Bay. Thank you, Tampa Bay. Because I think we got a better quarterback than you do. And yet, 3 picks later, the Cardinals move up. They take Josh Rosen. And Josh Rosen, rather than putting on the cap with the ugly bird on it, and just keeping his mouth shut, he says, well, 9 teams made a mistake. And people thought it was this tongue-in-cheek line. It was cute. It was Tom Brady-esque bullcrap. Tom Brady had to wait 5 rounds to be picked. Tom Brady was picked 199th overall. He didn't have to wait 9 picks. Who is this self-entitled brat to say, 9 picks? I had to wait. 9 teams made a mistake. No, technically, the Browns, the Jets, and the Bills made a mistake. Those are the teams you're referring to that actually needed quarterbacks. The Giants didn't need a quarterback. The Broncos didn't need a quarterback. The Bucs, who traded Buffalo the pick to get Josh Allen, they obviously did not need a quarterback either, nor did they want one. Maybe that was their mistake. But what I'm trying to say here is that we are young in these guys' careers. This is a young, long process, a young start, an early start to a long process is what I'm trying to say. And guys like Lamar Jackson might take some time to develop, but the athleticism is there. You know who really loves Lamar Jackson? Madden. Not John Madden, EA Sports Madden. They love Lamar Jackson. He's got like a 99 speed, a 98 awareness. The stats are through the roof. It's like there's no trading for that guy in Madden. You're going to have to go into the rosters and cut him in order to get him. What I'm trying to say here, guys, is that every team that picked one of these quarterbacks picked them because they thought that they were the best fit for those specific teams. Cleveland's the only team that would have took Baker first overall. I don't think any other team would have done that. Do you think any other team would have picked Baker Mayfield first overall? Let me know. The Bills, the Jets, they go out and they take the next best player available, and that was Sam Darnold easily. They'll be happy with that decision. I'm confident in that. The Bills make a move to get the guy that they wanted, the most arm talent quarterback in the draft, physically gifted, smart, mobile quarterback. A lot of attributes that Josh Allen has. Some need to be crafted, some need to be honed. But they were okay with their decision. And to say the least, I don't blame them. Because everybody knows I supported that pick. Josh Rosen, on the other hand, is a guy that I think he is way higher on himself than he needs to be. And he's a guy that I think is going to take some time to learn. More time than what people thought. Much more time than what people thought. But we'll see. Do I think he's got ability? Do I think he's got talent? Sure. Do I think Lamar Jackson's got ability? Do I think Lamar Jackson's got talent? 100%. I think there's a real chance that all of these guys could be impact players. That not one of them could be a bust. This class could maybe in some ways rival 2012, some ways rival 1983, some ways. Maybe not all of them would be Hall of Famers like Elway, Marino, and Kelly. Those weren't the only three quarterbacks that were drafted in that draft, though. Ken O'Brien, Blackledge, to name a few. So, very interesting. That is one of the biggest storylines to me this season is the progress of these five players. The progress of Mayfield, the progress of Darnold, the progress of Allen, the progress of Rosen, and the progress of Lamar Jackson. You also have to keep your eye out on for Mason Rudolph. He's another guy that was drafted in this draft that was drafted in the third round by Pittsburgh, and they always seem to find gold at the end of a rainbow. For whatever reason, they just do. So that being said, I am excited for August 26th. August 26th is the first season of the Thomas Take Sports Podcast Fantasy Football League. It is one that I am amped up, geared up for. I think that this is going to be a great league. I'm very excited to have 9 great gentlemen contribute to this league, and I'm very, very happy about it. So for anybody that has any interest in following the league, you can follow the league only on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast by listening to the draft show live August 26th at 1 o'clock. Sunday, August 26th at 1 o'clock. You can tune into my draft show and you will enjoy it. I guarantee it. As I go pick by pick, round by round, tell a little bit about the listeners, or tell the listeners a little bit about the listeners that are joining me on the show. So how about that? Take care, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.